In this video, I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is to create a preset on the Fractal Audio System's VP4. We'll want to start with an empty preset. So if your VP4 is fresh out of the box, you'll notice that your LEDs are blue, indicating that we are in effects mode, and you'll probably be on preset A1, virtual pedal board. We want to turn the select knob all the way to the left to highlight preset A1 virtual pedal board, and you'll notice that your LED foot switches have now turned green to indicate that we are now in preset mode. Now all we need to do is rotate the A or preset knob through the factory presets populating banks A through T until we get to the empty user banks, but I'm going to go all the way to the end to Z4 and hit enter to load the preset. We now have a completely empty preset. What I'll do now is turn the select knob to highlight the first empty effect slot. And now to build out this preset, all we'll do is insert effects as blocks. Blocks are your high-level categories like drive, chorus, phaser, flanger, delay, etc. So let's turn this first A or type knob for this first highlighted slot until we get to, let's say, a phaser. As you can see, the screen says enter to confirm or exit to cancel. We like our phaser, so let's hit enter. And now we have a phaser in our preset. Now I'm going to turn knob B. Let's go ahead and insert a drive block. Hit enter. And now finally, I'm going to quickly put delay and reverb blocks in these final two slots. Now at this point, since I've done a little bit of work, I'm going to pause to save the preset. I press the save button, and to give it a name that's a little more interesting than empty, I'm going to turn the select knob once to the right to get to the name field. You'll notice across the bottom of the screen here that the A, B, C, and D knobs correspond to the cursor, capital letters A through Z, lowercase letters A through Z, and then numbers and special symbols. You can also use the page left and page right buttons up here to either delete or insert a character. So I'm going to hold down page left until we delete empty, and now I'm just going to enter VP4 using the various knobs. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to ask me if I want to overwrite the preset. Of course I do, since this is an empty preset. I'm going to hit enter again, and that's all there is to it. We've now created a preset with 4 different effects: a phaser, a drive, a delay, and a reverb. So of course, these 4 effects have been added at their default values. So how about let's dial one of them in? Let's do the drive. I'm going to turn select until the drive pedal is highlighted, and then I'm going to hit enter. The first thing you'll see is a list of all the different types of drive pedals, and there are a lot of them. At this time of filming, there are over 60. That number may increase, as of course Fractal is well known for releasing many firmware updates for free that add to the list of effects and improve the firmware of all of their units. Right now we're on a T808 overdrive. Let's change it to perhaps a fuzz pedal. I'm a big fan of the Bender Fuzz based on the Tone Bender because I am a Jimmy Page fan. And by the way, you can, of course, as you scroll through these effects, play your guitar and listen to what each different type is doing to your sound. To choose the Bender Fuzz, I'm going to once again hit enter. You'll notice that we've kicked over one page. You can see these 2 squares at the top, page left, page right. Hitting enter or hitting page right on this type screen will take you to the knobs screen. The VP4 is very streamlined with basic, simple controls like you would see on the real-world pedals. So that means in this case, drive, tone, and level. Let's dial these in, and remember, while you're doing this, you can of course use the effect pedal switches to turn the other effects off to hear what you're doing while you dial in this particular one. Okay, that sounds good to me. So let's click home. And now let's dial in our delay. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that one on. That delay is selected, so let's go ahead and hit enter to edit it. We can either hit enter or page right to get to our knobs. Let's set the time to around 400, let's say 412. We're going to set the feedback to, let's say around 30, because right now we're at 10%, which is pretty low. And now let's adjust the mix. Bring it down just a bit to maybe around 20%. Let's see how that sounds. Now remember these little squares at the top of the screen. We talked about how those show what page you are on. They also tell you how many pages that you have accessible within one effect. On our drive block, there were just 2 pages, the types and then our knobs. Here we have a third block, so let's page right one more time, and you'll see that we have even more options on this delay type. We'll call this the extras page. I'll leave the modulation rate and the depth where they are, but let's go ahead and select this second row and bring this high cut down a good bit to darken up the repeats of the delay. Perfect. So now let's save. We'll hit save and enter, and then enter again. We could go ahead and turn on our phaser and our reverb and save it once again if we wanted the preset to pull up with all of those effects on at the same time. So now you know the basics of how to create a preset and dial in effects on the VP4. We've just turned the select knob to highlight an effect. Of course, we could also press its button to highlight it, but that will turn it on or off. We press enter to show the settings for that effect. Dial that in however we like using the knobs. Hit exit and select reverb, for example. Hit enter. Adjust the reverb a bit if we want to do that. Let's turn the time up. So now we've adjusted another effect, and then hit save, enter, and then enter again. And that's all there is to it. So why don't you now try dialing in, let's say, the phaser to a sound that you like, or perhaps even changing the type of effect entirely. Check out the other videos in this series to learn more and have fun.